George R. R. Martin has made an update on his Not a Blog site. And no, it's not about Wins a Winner. It's about Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We're going to get into what George said about the new show coming out on HBO Max this year. And we're going to do it right now on the Sundowners Club. Welcome, everybody. So Sterling, my co-host, as we kick off 2025, we don't have House of the Dragon Season 3 this year. Looks like we're not going to have Wins a Winner, but we do have another story coming out on HBO Max this year in the world of Westeros, and it's going to be around the Dunk and Egg novellas, and it's going to be called Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We've covered some of the stuff around the first teaser trailer, images that have come out, but George R. R. Martin has made some comments on his Not a Blog site, and I want to get your thoughts on, based on what he said and what you think it means for the show and how the show might do with the fans, being that it's going to be very different from Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. So first, let me start with what George says. So Night of the Seven Kingdoms, for starters, it's done filming. Production is done. They wrapped the first season a few months ago, so they are in post-production right now. And George has seen all 6 episodes. That's good news because he did not see all the episodes of House of the Dragon Season 2, and we know how that turned out. George got pissed and turned on Ryan Condal and the team of writers around leaving certain characters and storylines out of House of the Dragon. So is it good news that he's even seen all 6 episodes?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if we talk about House of the Dragon, I mean, it had some issues right up front with the casting, in my opinion. So, I mean, you knew that things were going to change right off the bat. With this, I think, yeah, he seems to be pretty happy with how it's turned out in terms of how faithful it is.
The casting's been spot on.
Casting's been great. Definitely be different because it's a lot more focused story than anything else. I think House of the Dragon's more focused than Game of Thrones was, but
yeah,
this is just, really on those 2 characters mostly, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a different type of story, but I mean, I'm okay with that. I think as long as they're cool characters, I mean, I'm down to watch anything in that universe. So I mean, yeah, as long I think the less they try to deviate from the books, the better, and he seems to be happy with that. So
right. So yeah, the casting has been fantastic. We've got Peter Claffey as Duncan the Tall, and Dexter Ansall as young Egg, and we've got the Laughing Storm, Lionel Baratheon. I think people are going to love the character of Lionel Baratheon. The guy who's playing him was on the Netflix series The Gentleman, and when I saw that he was cast, I thought that was phenomenal casting. So I'm really excited to see that. And then we've got some other characters around Targaryens that we will see. There's a lot of them in this show, but he talks about seeing the 6 episodes, and one of the things that he mentions is that while he really likes them, he says it's obviously different. He loves these characters, and he likes what he sees so far, but he also wants to tell the audience that this is very different from Game of Thrones and from House of the Dragon. He talks about viewers that are looking for action and more action and more action. This may not satisfy you. He says there's he goes on to say that there's a huge fight scene here, as exciting as anyone could ask for, and that's around the turning Ashford and what happens, the events that happens there in the first novella that he wrote. And then he mentions, but there's no dragons this time around. The dragons have all died out. No huge battles, no White Walkers. This is a character piece, and its focus is on duty and honor, on chivalry and all it means. And so, he's given you, really what the story of Dunk and Egg is in the books. And so that is accurate. And so it will be interesting. What do you think about them going in a different direction? They're telling a story in Westeros, but it's much more like, protector and young child. And it's not going to have a lot of the elements that Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon have. Good decision, bad decision?
Well, I mean, you can't expect everything to be, on a grand scale. HBO doesn't have the money for it. So, if you look at, all the stories that he's written, I mean, you have the of course, House of the Dragon, and then what's the story right after with the Civil War,
The Blackfire Rebellion?
Blackfire Rebellion, and then Aegon's Conquest. Those are going to be the main things that if they
Yeah.
do those are going to be the ones with the big battles and the dragons and all that. So I mean, he's only got so much room
The the
for what he's
the
written.
following and the fandom for Dunk and Egg, the people that read the books, is huge. I mean, I've talked to so many people who say that the Dunk and Egg novellas are their favorite stories and characters of everything George has written. So there's definitely a huge following for Dunk and Egg, and it looks like they got the casting right on this. And so it remains to be seen, but it's going to be different in tone. And so this is going to be it's going to have more humor. It's going to be much more, like you said, a character piece. And but we're still going to be in Westeros, and we're still going to be seeing characters that pop up, maybe not all in season one, but characters that pop up later that play a huge role in the future events within A Song of Ice and Fire. So I'm excited for it. I think it's a good thing that George has seen the 6 episodes, seen all of season one, and that he's loved them. He's happy with it, and that he's happy with Ira Parker and the work that Ira has done as the showrunner. And so, this bodes well because again, we saw a fractured group around House of the Dragon season two, and he clearly wasn't happy. So we're not going to get that from him this go round. So
I think if this does go well and it's critically acclaimed and people like it, they could put him on other projects in regards to Game of
absolutely,
Thrones, and
because
that's
he's not going to have Ryan Condal doing it anymore when he's done with House of the Dragon. I think that ship has sailed. But one thing that people maybe didn't catch unless you read the books, that he says at the bottom of his not a blog site as we wrap up, and I'll show it on the screen. He says, "Meanwhile, we'll be moving on to the Sworn Sword." That is novella number 2 in the series, the second tale of Dunk and Egg. And once I finish Winds of Winter, there he goes again.
oh, that's crazy.
Once he finishes Winds of Winter, I will need to get hopping on the Village Hero. So, the Village Hero is known as the fifth novella, which has not been written yet around the Tales of Dunk and Egg. And but there's another one that deals with the She Wolves of Winterfell. So that was the fourth novella. So I think it's interesting that he mentioned the Village Hero, a fifth, and these are small books, Sterling. So they're not large books, but he mentions the fifth story, the Village Hero, and he skipped the fourth one. And I don't know if, from a fan standpoint, I don't really know how to take that or what that means. If he does he already have the fourth one written? Does he already have the fourth novella written? Or is he skipping that and going straight to the Village Hero? And that just becomes the fourth novella? That remains to be seen. We'll keep an eye on that. But let us know what you think. Are you excited for Night of the Seven Kingdoms? Do you think that we will see a full trailer soon? We've got to see one in the next couple of months because we're probably going to get the show in August or September of this year. So let us know what you think. If you're excited for it, give us your thoughts. What are you most looking forward to? What are your thoughts around George? Again, posting a lot of this information, but there's no update on Winds of Winter. We're all waiting on a book that may never come, but we are going to get more stories that take place in Westeros, and we'll be here to cover it. While you're doing that, smash the like button, leave us a comment, hit the subscribe button, and TCB.